call that a knife? This is a knife. Ooh, down I go.
Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Mac and Jack Big Butt Bonanza. Good mole man to you. Today, part 4 on our series of the agonizing pain in which I live every day. Which is our way of saying that Skorpios, unfortunately, did not work out as well as we had hoped. Welcome back to the most mediocre, slowest growing podcast in all of creation, everybody. I am your never popular host, Jack Finney, and across from me, on the other side of the world, is a man whose appetite for destruction more than makes up for his lack of appetite for pizza, the sorest loser and smuggest winner at Mario Kart, and a man who, unlike me, knows the difference between Jonathan Schultz and Aaron Hill. None other than Makon, Crayley, the Mac. How you doing today, Mac?
Jack, I will have you know that I am the smuggest winner and worst loser at every fucking game. I mean,
you're not wrong.
I do not know why. Like, it is how I am. Like, I like to win.
It's probably an ND thing, and we have that in common, so yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Though I'm better about it than you are.
Well,
anyway,
yeah, but you're also worse at games than me.
That's the point. Yeah. Anyway, right, okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do this week, playing off of that, I would like to apologize to Jonathan Schultz and Aaron Hill for getting them mixed up. I am so sorry for that. I was sick at the time, yes, but that's no excuse. I have been watching this show for years. I should be able to identify them better than that. But moving forward, I will do my best to actually get it right.
Same.
Anyway, now to actually begin covering the episode this week, what a show we have in store for you. As usual, we had the best cold open skit since the Minibot skit, and honestly, Mac, come on. We need more cold open skits, don't we?
We do. We need more analog horror fucking cold opens. Like, that was fantastic. Holy shit.
You know, it really makes you think, a horror movie about somebody who has, like, a killer combat robot. That'd be cool.
I mean, that was an episode of, like, fucking... Oh, God. Like, I forget what story it was, but, like, there was an episode of a story where, like, there was, like, a murder, like, a robot finding event. Was it Bones?
Yes,
I
think I did hear about that.
Is that what Bones or a fucking, like, one of the CSI episodes?
Or Law and Order, or something like that.
Oh, Law and Order, maybe. Would it have been Law and... No, I think it would have been like CSI or like Bones or something.
It would make for a cool idea for a budget horror movie, though, wouldn't it?
True. I mean, look, I'll give it a try at some point. Like, it'd probably be fun.
You heard it here, folks. Max committed to the idea now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like if something comes up and I like an idea, I will definitely try to make. Cause like. You actually gave me the idea for, like, the last short film I made, so, like, yeah, I could actually end up making this.
Damn right I did. I'm a veritable fountain of great ideas, you know this. Also a lot of bad ones, but the ones I get right are really good, so...
Yes, but I also like the bad ones, because then I can make bad things. Anyway, up first, we have Gruff versus the Witch Doctor.
Yes. The true test of the real power of Witch Doctor's weapon. Gruff, the unquestionable toughest bot in the field, going up against Witch Doctor, which has a more powerful weapon than ever. Even with them dialing it back a little bit for this fight, this is still Witch Doctor at the most powerful that it's ever been, coming in using a fork configuration as well, which is something I don't think we've ever seen Witch Doctor do before, is it, Matt?
I don't believe so. Maybe once, but, like, it's not something they do very, like, it's a Blue Moon type thing, you know?
Because it's like with Death Roll, Witch Doctor is noted for its outright refusal to play the ground game. So the fact that it was rolling out a fork configuration on this occasion, that was something to be noticed.
Yeah. Like, they knew they had to do it. And fucking hell, it worked out for them.
Yep, the main note I have for this match is kaboom. That's what it is. This is, Gruff just straight up got blown up in this fight. Literally, we saw Gruff get its ass beat worse than ever before, even worse than what Quantum did to it. And considering how badly Quantum bit it to death as well.
Yeah,
this is saying something.
God, this fucking just got roasted to hell. Like, Okay, so Jack, tell us how the fight went.
Okay, well, Mac, you'll know this expression very, very well from your years of watching Robot Wars as a big fan of Hypnodisc. You remember the expression home in a bin bag, right?
I believe so, yes.
Where you take your robot home because it's been smashed into so many pieces you can fit it into a bin bag. That's what happened to Gruff in this fight.
It was taken home in an oven.
Yeah, and Gruff is, right, as Sick put it, Gruff is a very tough $2 steak. And on this occasion, Witch Doctor chewed it to bits. It just absolutely annihilated Gruff. It was honestly kind of sad to see Gruff take such a brutal ass kicking. It was awesome, but I was sad for the team. Like, you could see the team was actually very upset at just how badly Gruff lost that fight.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, like, I know that most of the time, like, people are like, hey, we lost, it's fun. But, like, that was one of the most one-sided beatdowns, the most brutal one-sided beatdowns, like, I think I've seen on this story.
And
like,
they looked legitimately disheartened by it afterwards.
Cause, like, the robot got, like, chewed up, it got, like, bits, like, thrown off it, it got its fucking, everything exploded, like, holy shit. Like, how do you come back from that?
I honestly don't think Gruff can this season. Gruff has been on the ass end of an ass kicking 2 fights in a row, one of them especially badly. In this case, well, obviously they have one more fight. Gruff, I can't see it making it into the tournament, and Witch Doctor, nothing is standing in its way from getting there. As was pointed out in the aftermath, we have got the rematch of the century coming up, and oh my god, Mac, I'm so hyped for that. That's going to be basically for the #1 seed. Let's be real.
Yeah, this is absolutely undisputedly for like #1. Like, I know there are other robots that could, but nah, this is gonna be the one for the #1. Like, Witch Doctor
it's
versus
definitely
Witch Doctor versus Minotaur.
Whoever wins this fight, they're getting the #1 seed.
They are, because, like, both Witch Doctor and Minotaur are at their peak. They are at their very best right now. And this fight is going to be nuts.
Yeah, it's like you can make a case for like 10 different robots to win the title this year. I think it's going to be either Witch Doctor or Minotaur at this point.
Like, it could be, like, I would be surprised if neither of them, like, made it to, like, at the very least, the semifinals.
Like, we could very well be seeing this all the way in the final again as
well.
We
could! We actually could!
This could be a best of 3 situation.
Making a whole best of 7 for the TV title. Make a brand new title just for Witch Doctor to win. Because goddamn, they've already tried once, maybe we'll keep trying.
I was gonna say, yeah, didn't they already try that and it didn't work out?
Look, kids, let's keep trying! Keep throwing things at the wall until they win! 17!
One thing is for sure,
17 stars.
One thing's for sure, Mac. Battlebots knows exactly what they've got in this fight because they went into overdrive with hyping that up.
Oh yeah,
they already had a hype package ready to go for it.
They are selling the absolute shit out of this. This is gonna be that episode's probably gonna be the best episode of the season. Like,
it very well could be, considering how many amazing episodes we've had so far as well.
Yeah, because like we just came off like the best like episode last week. Like, we're on like this week we've got like a really good episode. Like, we're eating good.
Oh yeah, man. And on top of this, we have an early shot for Knockout of the Night as well, if like Witch Doctor versus Gruff is any indication. Like, just taking a look at everything that happened. Like, this isn't a spoiler, it's just a statement of fact. We knew right away this was going to be Knockout of the Night, didn't we?
Oh
After
yeah,
this fight was over. It was like we knew nothing was going to top this.
Immediately, like there's nothing else.
Gruff just, oh my god. Gruff absolutely murdered to death. That's what it was.
It was. Kablooey. Up next, another match that was kablooey, but in the opposite direction. Malice versus Valkyrie.
Now, to be fair, in my notes, I did actually have this as a possible sleeper fight. We did actually get some pretty decent stuff out of these two machines. We got some good weapon-to-weapon blows as they went weapon for weapon. And ultimately, Malice actually managed to land a brilliant hit on Valkyrie that completely broke the weapon off in its entirety. However, this seemed to disable drive on one side of Malice and seemingly broke the weapon as well. Valkyrie came in, tried to turn this into a pushing battle with what it had left, lost drive on one side, and we ended up with the two of them ineffectually crab walking and trying to basically just stay alive. Ultimately, after 20 seconds of honestly rather sad action there, we finally got the double count out, and it went to a judge's decision. A split decision victory for Valkyrie. Now, everybody, buckle up, because this is where it gets tricky. In the final seconds of the countout, Malice's weapon started spinning again. So as a result, that split decision win for Valkyrie on the basis of damage, because it was ruled that Valkyrie had managed to disable not only Malice's drive, but also its weapon, did not actually count. So with that, Bunny contested the decision, took it to the judges, and upon further review, realizing that the weapon was not broke, they immediately reversed the decision and awarded it unanimously to Malice. And you know what? Good for Malice in this situation. It was a nice little moment of drama, and it's nice to see them actually get a unanimous decision victory here.
Yeah, like, I could say, first of all, like, when they started crab walking and started, like, trying to hit each other, like, that was the fucking funniest shit I've seen. Like, that was so goofy, but, like, also sad. But, like, Valkyrie getting the split decision was just wrong. Like, because, first of all, Malice literally ripped their weapon off. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But both of us, when we heard it was a split decision, you were like, what the fuck? And I was like, I can kind of see it. And then when they ordered it to Valkyrie, we were both like, no way, no, that is not right.
Yeah, cause like, I could see it, like, and... Cause like, Valkyrie's in the same exact boat as Malice. Like, there's no... And in fact, it was even worse, it had no weapon. Like, I guess you can argue, like, Malice's weapon was like, it may not be there anymore, but like, Malice was in so much more better shape. Like, what the... I don't understand. I mean, here are the scorecards. Like, yeah, it's... Oh god, I don't understand these judges. Like, actually, you could see, like, as they're, like, while they were doing, like, the announcements, like, you could see on Lisa's face, she was just thinking, oh god, what have I done? They're gonna blame me for this.
Well, it's like, I can see the logic in it, you know? I mean, if at first you look at that fight and Malice's weapon is disabled, then technically speaking, they've lost both drive and the weapon. I could see them awarding that to Valkyrie in that situation, but with the fact that Malice's weapon did start spinning again, showing that the weapon wasn't broken, you cannot award all of the damage decisively to Valkyrie in that situation.
I mean, I'm happy that Bunny cast in and like and got it won. Got a win. So yeah.
Yes. And because it ruled in her favor, she can appeal again later in the season if something else happens. This was actually a pretty nice palate cleanser after Malice's previous victory over Emulsifier kind of left a bad taste in all of our mouths.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm very happy for how this turned out.
But yeah, good job, Bunny, for a good victory. Well done.
Yeah, we'll see you later on the show.
Yep. Speaking of good victories, though, we have what is, quite frankly, one of the most amazing fights we've ever seen up next. A real sleeper fight in this instance, Madcatter versus the current second place from most improved this year, Big Dill. And there is so much personality in this fight when you really look at it, isn't it, Mac? You've got Martin Mason and the rest of the Madcatter team, his students. You've got Big Dill, which includes previous members of the Madcatter team, from what I remember.
Oh.
And yeah, you got to remember, this is there was a lot of personality going into this, and they really showed that with the going in with the mini bots as well. I mean, Oh, dude,
It was
those
fun.
mini bots, especially the one with the little steel chair as well.
Yeah,
That was just perfect.
That was excellent. Oh my god! And then we got to the fucking fight, which it was just a straight up Noah match, like just a Noah big boy match. Like just they beat the absolute shit out of each other like the entire fight.
Yeah, it was insane. Now, they made a point of highlighting Big Dill's reliability issues going into the fight as well as an underlying narrative. But coming out of the gate, Big Dill was an absolute monster at the start of this fight, just like in its last fight. It soundly won the ground game with its massive forks, got under Madcatter, managed to deal a substantial amount of damage, and was kicking its ass all over the arena, being very well driven. But ultimately, Madcatter managed to come back in the latter stage of the fight, dealing big damage to equalize things, getting its ground game going again as well, and managing to land some monster shots towards the end of the fight that ultimately really brought it back into contention. Now, they went back and forth throughout the entirety of the fight. There was a lot, and I mean a lot, of really big hits. There were bits all over the battle box by the end of it. Both of the robots were practically a smoking wreck. They could barely continue. It was like basically seeing two boxers on their feet just throwing one last punch at each other at the end of the final round. And it was awesome. This was an absolute slugfest and exactly what you want to see out of a BattleBots fight.
Yeah, this was so fun to watch. Like I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Yep. It went to a judge's decision. We got the right outcome out of this. It was a great performance by Big Dill. Great job showcasing all of their improvement. Madcatter continues to be an absolute boss. And, you know, I'm okay with saying ahead of time right now, best loser, best performance in a losing effort. Easily Big Dill in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Like, he showed up and he proved himself.
Yeah, that's one thing about Big Dill. They are definitely showing up this season.
Absolutely.
Like, they've unfortunately not performed anywhere near as well as they could have in previous seasons, but this one, they have things dialed in, and they are, like, there's still a few gremlins to work out, but man, the massive improvement that they have demonstrated is just, it's something else, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Like, because, yeah, like, it's just, they figured it out. They figured out the combination to get everything to work properly. I mean, like, not properly, but, like, at the level it needs to be at. Like, at least for now. Like, next season, I think it's
Like
going to be even better.
Yeah. Like, the only reason that Big Dill is not the front runner for most improved this year is because sitting at the top of that heap is Claw Viper, and Claw Viper looks borderline unstoppable this year based off of what they've done so far. So, second place behind Claw Viper, that is nothing to sneeze at.
That's a very good place to be.
And so far, this is our fight of the night as well. Will it remain that way throughout the rest of the episode? We shall see.
And up next.
But up next, we had Jackpot versus one of Mac's absolute fave 5 robots, Ribbot.
Oh, he's my fave 5 player. This was a fun fight. This was a very fun fight.
Yeah. It's a do-or-die fight for both teams because both of them, rather uncommonly for them, especially for Jackpot, who up until this season had never lost a fight in the opening, in the fight nights leading up to the actual tournament itself, Ribbot and Jackpot both going 0-2 in the lead up to this fight. So this was an absolute must-win situation for both teams. They both came to play as a result. Some early big shots with Ribbot taking a wedge, taking off a wedge from Jackpot, and even utterly obliterating Ace into the bargain. But then Jackpot came back very, very strongly, took out 2 of Ribbot's wheels, and managed to hit it with a couple more hits. One of them was actually a massive rebound shot that ultimately ricocheted Jackpot all the way across the arena, and they were lucky that they had installed that lifter slash self-righting mechanism, because if not, they'd have been dead. They would have been out of there.
Absolutely.
Ribbot managed to stay alive despite the crippling damage all the way up to a judge's decision. It was definitely Jackpot's decision, and as a result, the right robot won. Jackpot came away with the Duke in this one, but a very fun fight, and yeah, very entertaining.
I'll be honest, the big thing that really got Jackpot to win was flipping Ribbot upside down. Cause like Ribbot, even with like 2 wheels missing, like when it was right side up, like it was still fucking going like at full force. It was like
super dangerous, yeah. But by inverting it, they managed to take away a lot of the power of the undercutter.
Exactly, and like also a lot of the mobility. It's like, yeah, like it was a very close one. Like this is not a loss to be mad about.
Yep, definitely. That being said, at this point, 0-3, I don't see Ribbot getting into the tourney this year. And I think Jackpot getting in is going to depend on its next fight.
True. I mean, Ribbot has I think a 5% chance, like depending on how its next fight goes. Like it's the odds aren't good, but we'll have to see like how it performs.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to really, really show up in its next fight if it wants to get into the tournament, because this year, considering the strength of the competition, I'm not really seeing a case for Ribbot to get into the tourney so far from its previous fights. Not to say that Ribbot is bad or anything like that. Ribbot is still an amazing robot, but considering how much other teams have shown up, I don't think it would be fair if Ribbot got into the tournament at the expense of some other robots who perform better.
Fair, very fair.
Like just on the basis of its pedigree. It's the same with Jackpot. I think Jackpot, they've done well to win this fight, but I think they also need to really show up in their next fight. Jackpot could get into the tournament, and I think it probably will, but I wouldn't give it an especially high seed or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, you don't want either of these, like, getting the Hydra treatment, basically.
Yeah, like, we love Hydra, but it shouldn't have been in the last tournament. But moving on, we don't want to alienate friend of the podcast.
True. I mean, look, we praised him enough last week. Like, come on. Let us bury him a bit.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, but he's so nice. He's such a good heel.
True. Yeah, true. But you know what's next, Zach? It's your favorite. It's the swords.
Yes. A low-key dream match here, as we introduced Skorpios to the world, with Skorpios coming in, wielding the legendary Overkill Blade. Now, I marked really, really hard for this, and I was so looking forward to this fight, because this is low-key a dream match, absolutely. Skorpios versus Sawblaze Battle of the Hammer Souls. It, unfortunately, did not turn out that way.
Nope, instead we got a big sword and a big loss. A big quick loss.
Yeah, unfortunately for Skorpios, that giant blade severely unbalanced a robot and left it unable to drive properly. And up against Jameson Go, that is a death sentence, as Jameson promptly managed to get Skorpios up and over after a good hit, and even cut through part of Overkill's blade. I thought it was going to cut the sword in half.
Yeah, it nearly did. It actually nearly did.
And unfortunately, with that particular sword configuration, Skorpios actually couldn't even self-right, so it was counted out more on the basis of getting flipped over than from catastrophic damage or anything like that. And that was a real shame.
Yeah.
This could have been an absolutely legendary fight, and unfortunately, it was a dud. But at least we got a good gag for this show.
It was a fun dud.
Yeah, I am hoping that we will see a proper rematch between these two in the future, because after all, that's a dream match that we've been waiting for a while, and it really would not do to have, that be the only encounter between them. Hopefully, next time, Skorpios can get some redemption.
Honestly, open the season, open the next season with that. Because we need the fight. We actually do need that fight.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, okay.
Next,
so, yeah.
We had another one of our stars of the episode up next, none other than pizza time. It's the Ripperoni team.
Oh, yes.
Friends of the podcast. Shout out to you.
Lineal Champion.
Honestly, knowing that at least some of them have listened to our show is awesome. I absolutely love that.
Dude, it's fucking awesome.
Love that knowledge. It really was.
We all appreciate you. I don't like pizza, but I appreciate your team.
Well, I love pizza, and I love their team as well.
See, it's 50-50 here.
Now, we had Bunny on commentary here, showing some good analytical chops, as she demonstrated throughout this fight as well. I adore Ripperoni and its configuration names. I love that they named their wedge configuration for this one, the calzone. Hijinx came in and promptly, well, it got its ass beat, let's be honest, from bell to bell.
It died.
Hijinx got scalped, burst into flames. They were not going to out Pizza the Hut in this fight. I like Hijinx, but it's a very difficult robot for, you know, to actually get especially far in the tournament. I think because it operates on an undercutter configuration, but I think its bar is a little bit too thick to be able to really work in that sense. And here, it didn't work out because Ripperoni just, well, it beat it black and blue. It made owl pizza. Let's be real.
It flipped it like dough.
Yeah. This was just another brutal ass kicking, a common theme for this episode.
Yes,
but you know, it was great to hear like Bunny's analysis as this all went on, and it was great to see Ripperoni get another highlight win. So pizza.
I like that one fucking dude in the back with like the pizza. Like he was just trying to make himself a meme, and I hope he succeeds.
Oh, you mean the guy with the baggie with the the baggie around his neck with the slice of pizza?
Yes,
that was awesome.
Yeah, that's the way he was like looking, like and eating. Like he knew what he was trying to do, and I hope it succeeds for him because he seemed like a cool dude.
Yeah, I mean the Ripperoni team as a whole is just awesome, and I hope that we get to see some more skits from them because their opening skit for the episode was just fabulous entertainment.
Yeah, like honestly, there's a lot they could do. Yeah, that's successful Lineal tower defense, and yeah, they go on to another match. I forget who they're fighting.
Yep.
Who is it again? Oh, that's right! Copperhead!
Man, that will be brutal!
That's gonna be a fucking fun fight. Copperhead's next fight is also gonna be really fucking fun. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Copperhead is going to be is in so many great matches this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that one plays out.
It should be fun. But yeah, great fight.
And finally, we have the main event of the evening. Hypershock versus Endgame, a big rematch with a lot of hype behind it, and they made a real point of really spotlighting this in the highlight package leading up, didn't they?
They did. Like, they highlighted how, you know, like, Hypershock hasn't always been, like, ready. But now it is.
Whereas now it's one of the most prepared teams out there.
Exactly. And were they ready for this fight?
Unfortunately, no.
This was unfortunate.
I love Hypershock. Their pre-fight antics were very, very entertaining here. Unfortunately, a little bit more entertaining than the fight itself ended up being.
Yeah.
It was a tentative start to this fight as Endgame coming out with another fork configuration. Their forks tore up the floor and the logo and a little bit, but Hypershock attempted to charge in head-on. Didn't quite work out. Ended up inverted. Their attempt to right themselves did not work out, as they ended up losing a wheel in the attempt. Went down a wheel, then another wheel, and then boom. Endgame with the big boom knockout shot. And it was unfortunately a disappointing end to a great episode. I've been really enjoying this episode up to this point, and while it was a cool knockout, it was unfortunately not the main event that I'd hoped it would be.
I mean, yeah, like, sometimes that's just how it goes with Endgame. Like, Endgame will body you. He will jabroni you.
Yeah. Another great win for Endgame as they continue their campaign to regain the title. Will they do so? We shall see.
Possibly.
But they are currently sitting at 2-1 in regards to their season, aren't they, Mac?
Yes, they are.
Do we have word on who they're going to fight next?
Yeah, the final fight of the season is up against Gigabyte.
Ooh, well, Endgame could well be going into the tournament 3-1 then.
Yes, in fact, most likely.
We have seen. Then again, stranger things have happened than the idea of Gigabyte beating Endgame, so I guess we shall see.
You know what?
I mean, after all, not to disrespect Ripperoni, but nobody saw Ripperoni beating Endgame, did they?
I mean, true. Even we sort of discounted it like slightly.
And then boom, we found out that nobody outpizzas the Hut.
Yeah, exactly. Like we got, and now
yeah,
right, we can't discount Gigabyte. Yeah, like I shouldn't discount Gigabyte. Hypershock
does still have room for redemption, but it's currently sitting on a losing record this season, isn't it? 1-2, if I'm remembering correctly.
What? Yes. Because it lost the first fight, I think, and then won the second, or like the other order. I don't know. It won a match.
It's unfortunate because I always want Hypershock to do well, but considering who its next opponent is, I can't root for Hypershock in that match. I really, really want Claw Viper to win that fight. I want Claw Viper to fulfill its potential.
Jack, it's already fulfilling its potential. I am fine with it losing one match, so Hypershock gets a win.
Well, I hope it's a really, really good match. I hope that whoever wins, their opponent really makes them work for it.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's no doubt that's gonna be a fucking fantastic fight.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that, we come to the end of the episode for the week, and now we move into our awards. Of course, we've already given out a number of awards. We've already established Big Dill, the best performing loser of the week. Our knockout of the week, Witch Doctor versus Gruff, and our fight of the night, Madcatter versus Big Dill. So, what do we have left, Matt?
We have the Spike Dudley. Let's see.
Yep. And Spike Dudley for this week, the underdog victory of the week. Although it's not an underdog usually, considering who it was up against, we elected to award it this week to Jackpot.
No, Danny Jackpot getting the big dub.
Because out of that fight, we were largely expecting Ribbot to win that fight if push came to shove because of Ribbot's pedigree. And not to take anything away from Jackpot, but we do generally consider Ribbot to be the superior machine of the two. Or at the very least, we did up until Jackpot managed to take him to town.
Yeah.
So in this case, the house wins the Spike Dudley Award. It's funny because beating the house is what you would usually get the underdog award for, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, look, being the house sometimes, you have to turn yourself into a house to win.
Mac, how about you take it for best driver?
Best driver. I need to find where that was again. Oh, right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did. I think I forgot to write it down because we, at the time, we were sort of still figuring it out. Yeah, because, best driver, it was kind of a toss-up here, between Madcatter, Big Dill, and Witch Doctor.
Absolutely.
And in the end, we decided that Madcatter did enough of the good driving to get the award.
Yeah, Madcatter put on an absolute driving clinic up against Big Dill, who was very, very game, it must be said. Witch Doctor gets an honourable mention here as well for its absolute slaughtering of Gruff, which is a very well-driven machine itself, so the fact that Witch Doctor absolutely massacred it is definitely deserving of a nod here. But ultimately, we found the best driver of this week to be Madcatter with its fantastic comeback win up against an incredibly game Big Dill.
It was a very well-earned win and a very well-driven match.
And finally, we come to our off-topic segment of the week, where this week I attended the Bristol Bot Builders Inter-Uni competition as roboteers from all over the UK and various different universities came together at the St. Michael's Centre in Bristol in order to fight for the right to be considered number one.
Ooh.
I gotta tell you, dude, this was an excellent event to be part of. There were so many great Beetleweights fighting, including none other than Ellis Ware of the Big Dill / Magnetar team, who came in and absolutely murdered his way to the crown to win the title at this event.
Ooh.
And on another note, entirely by coincidence, who was at the event? None other than Brandon Zielinski of the P1 and Starchild teams, as well as his teammate Rory. And yes, I was completely flabbergasted when I realized it was him. I was thinking to myself, my brain has to be playing tricks on me. Why would he be in England? But then I remembered that he was here in a previous post in a Combat Robot floor posting group. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go over, I'm going to see just to be sure. And true enough, he was incredibly nice to me as well. Very, very nice guy. Had a great conversation with him and Rory. And yeah, ended up getting a photo with him and an autograph from my autograph book. So, huzzah.
Very nice.
I am also motivated to finish my Beetle.
Oh, nice.
I am back to at least attempting to work on my robot a little bit. So being at this event, I still haven't actually started on putting it back together again. I've decided to refine the design a little bit. I also need to get a new soldering iron, and I need to get something to properly cut the plastic like a bandsaw. But I am back to wanting to make it. So
very good, very good. You always need that little bit of motivation, and seeing some cool robot fighting, that always does the trick.
Oh yeah, definitely. But dude, seeing Ellisware's robot Gizmo absolutely shred all of her comers, that was scary to see.
Okay, what is tell me about Gizmo.
Okay, so I will send you some photos. But Gizmo, essentially... Okay, so the best way for me to describe Gizmo is it's essentially everything that you would expect to see out of a four-wheel drive vertical spinner, but in beetle weight form, and oh man, it's an absolute monster. Its weapon is very, very reminiscent of its big brothers Pulsar and Magnetar as well, which, considering it's Ellisware, that makes perfect sense. Gizmo is extremely nimble, handles like an absolute dream, and it can even run inverted as well. As you can see in this particular image here, it's got the little forks that allow it to run inverted.
Oh.
And yes, it's a forked four-wheel drive vertical spinner, and it kicks like an absolute demon. It completely murdered multiple robots to death. It was an absolute massacre in many instances. And so props to Ellisware for another fantastic robot outing.
God damn.
Yeah. It was an awesome day.
Nice.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend attended. I got to meet a lot of great people. I got to see a lot of great fights, and I ate a lot of chocolate. So yeah, it was a good day. My feeling a little bit sick towards the end of the day aside, that wasn't due to the chocolate. I was just under the weather.
Fair.
But yes, fantastic event. One that I was very, very glad to be a part of. How about you, Mac? Did you have anything you wanted to talk about in the off-topic segment this week?
Not really. I didn't really do anything this week.
How has Ishin been treating you?
It's been very good. I'm still fairly early in the game. I've just been messing around with sub stories and just the mini games and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a very, very fun game.
Fair shout. Well, we're gonna do our best to not overstay our welcome. So until next week, everybody, he's Mac, I'm Jack. Take care, and we'll see you on the next episode of our ever mediocre podcast. Ciao.
So long.